Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and we're up again today with more from KSCRAFT. Yes we are. So today is the shaker or the box jar, or you can combine the two, but because there's so many videos now of the box and the shaker, I'm just going to pretend that I've done the box and the shaker, and once I've done that, what else am I going to do with it? So I'm going to make a card, and there's only a few pieces that I have selected from this. Now then, I have been and die cut a piece of acetate, and for a moment there I couldn't even see it. Right, so I have done my base. My base is craft cardstock. It's cream basil cardstock from Joanne, and then the top section is digital, and it's from designerdigital.com. And I did put a link to this a couple of videos ago, so if you go and check for that one, you'll find it. And I think I did warn you, it's not cheap. So go there when there's a sale on, and even when there's a sale on, it's not necessarily cheap, but you know, I just like the designs. So that is the base of the card. Now I've done some fussy cutting and printing from the same pack as this. This pack is called Birdsong. So anyway, here is my jar, and you can just about see it, and it's transparent, but I have done a lid, and I've chosen a foresty green to go onto here. And I've used craft cardstock just to tie in with the base here as the string, and then you get a little clip-on tag. It cuts a little, I don't know if my camera's going to show it there. Oh, I had it for a minute. But there we go. You can see it cuts that little section right there on the hole, so that you can thread it onto your string just like this. She says I haven't had any coffee this morning. Oh dearie me. There we go. So you'll be able to just thread it on and have it dangling just like that off your little jar. Now I have done some fussy cutting of some bits and pieces, and I'll get those out in a second. But first of all, because it's going to take a while to dry, I want to glue that on. Now the idea of what I'm doing is kind of like, it can be a lift up flap on the card. I'm only putting a little bit of glue along the top there, and I'm wondering how far down there. I think that's it, making sure that I'm in the middle. I'm going to push that section down, and if you get a little bit of glue stuck on there, just wipe it off while it's still wet. And I think that that's even. Right, the idea for this is that I want to be able to stick stuff under, you know, like you do a transparency flap for a journal page, and you can lift it up and you can tuck stuff under, or you can have stuff layered on top. So that's the idea for this. But first of all, some of my cuts that I've done, I just want to flip this over, because I cut out this birdhouse. Now this did actually come on a pedestal, but I knew it was going to be too big to go under there, so my glue is still wet on this. So first of all, I just want to have a look at that. So I kind of just want to position that, and I'm gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna go there. Everything else that I fussy cut, I want it to layer on the top. So I'm going to go with my birdhouse here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there so that it's not going to hinder anywhere else. And then I'm just putting a bit on here. Yeah, it helps if you stick your jar down, doesn't it? But what you want to do is you want to give yourself the opportunity to lift it up if you want to. Right, so I'm going to go to there. I'm just going to look at that and make sure it's basically where I want it to be. Right. So that's a couple more layers down. And then I want to use foam on the rest of it. So that like when you're gifting it, I mean, they can clearly see that it's a shiny jar. It's just really difficult to pick up on your camera. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to glue my string on. So I'm going to go to the edge on there. Now you could use real twine if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. Just want to catch those little bits there. And I know there's enough glue to squidgy around. So I'm just picking that up and getting it where I want it. Right, I'm going to go there. And then I'm just going to turn the tag to an angle and clear that off. Nice thing about this glue is it does dry clear, because I can get in a right mess with it sometimes. Right, so now we've got our little string and our little tag, and we've got our birdhouse in there. Right, I can cap off my glue now because I'm just going to be using foam. So this is a really, really quick card. Now the next thing that I want to go down is the leaves, and then, you know, kind of like just to decide where within my card I want those, because I've already cut myself a little bird nest and I want that right off on the bottom, and I want it to kind of sit within the jar. So I know that I don't want to hide my birdhouse, and I know that this needs to go in somewhere where it's not going to hang off the edge. Right, so first of all I'm going to glue down the leaves. It's just like flower arranging when you do stuff like this. So I can kind of remember where it needs to be. You don't have to put glue everywhere when you're doing stuff like this, because you might want to flip little bits and bobs up. So I'm going to go there. So I'm staying within my region. So the next thing I want to do is pop some foam onto my bird's nest. And I'm going to sit that right on top of the jar. So Dollar Tree foam here, and I'm just cutting up just a couple of pieces. You don't want them, you know, like the full length of it, just in case you're going to tuck anything behind. So leave yourself a little bit of space to do that. I do that with most of my things. So here we've got our little birdie nest, and I want that right off to the edge of the jar. So this is where we're at so far. You can still see the shine. So our little birdhouse is actually inside of that. And from this same set again that did that background paper, I've got my little birdie, and I think I'm going to just glue that onto the edge of that nest, because I kind of like dimension, but you know, sometimes you can get a wee bit carried away. I can. So I'm going to have that there, because I want to be able to see what's going on in that nest. And then it could be just for a little bit of support on this region here. So I'm going to cut a little bit of foam. I'm going to have to clean my scissors off. They're full of foamy gunk. So I've got the back off there. And then I'm just going to position that right there. There we go. So the birdie has got a little bit of support. So we've got that in. And then I'm going to go for a butterfly. I think I'm going to go for my butterfly up there actually. That's the beauty of having bits and bobs of ephemera. I've got a little watercolour heart as well. Don't know whether I want to use that though. I had thought about just putting it off the edge of the nest, and I think I will. And I've also got this little bunch of flowers. I really like those flowers. Kind of like the idea of those with the foliage. Yeah, kind of like the idea of the butterfly on them as well. I feel like I'm sitting in my craft room all on my own now, just chuntering to myself. Yeah, I'm going to go with the flowers there. Yeah, I'm going to go there. And maybe they'll stick down a bit to that bit of leaf. So now we've got this bit. And you can still see that we've got our jar. I've got my little butterfly and I don't know where I want to put it, but I know that I want it. Could be sitting on the edge of that tag. And then, as I just said, you know, I cut that little watercolour heart out because it just reminded me of a robin's egg. You know, the splotchiness on it. See? Ooh. Ooh, that's my jet barking to come in. We're having another chilly morning. How about you? Trying to think where I want that. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it there. Now, of course, with your ephemera, you can always ink it up. It's something that I would do, but, you know, I know that not everyone's into distressed. So sometimes I try to do simple distress. That's what I'm calling it, simple distress. Sounds like me at 5 o'clock. Yeah, simply distressed. Right, that is what I have for you today. Just really quick and easy. Just lots of ephemera cutting. I love the birdhouse. I love the shine on it behind the jar. And you can quite clearly see that it is a jar. And I'm just sorry that my camera doesn't pick it up as well. But I do love that. So when you've done your shaker and you've done your box, you can make a card. Right, I thank you so much for joining me today. Do have an absolutely wonderful day, and as usual, all links below. Bye.